In the heart of the village of Makola, there lived a woman named Essie. Essie was known far and wide not only for her generosity, but also for her immense wealth. She had inherited a vast fortune from her family, a fortune that allowed her to build a large mansion filled with beautiful art, rare carvings, and the finest cloths in all of Makola. Essie was a kind woman, and she often shared her wealth with the villagers, helping those in need. People in Makola admired her, but they also whispered that Essie was too trusting, a trait that one day might bring her harm. One evening, Essie met Kofi, a charming man with a quick smile and a silver tongue. He had little to his name, and the villagers doubted his intentions when he showed interest in Essie. But Essie, captivated by his laughter and gentle ways, fell in love with Kofi and soon married him, despite the warnings from her friends and family. The days passed peacefully at first, but soon something changed. Essie's house help, Ama, began to catch Kofi's eye. Ama was a beautiful young woman with a captivating smile and a bold nature. She moved through Essie's home with an air of confidence, her figure drawing the attention of many, including Kofi. Although Essie treated Ama with kindness, Ama had her own ambitions. She often lingered in rooms where Kofi was, laughing a little too loudly at his jokes or brushing past him in the narrow hallways. A subtle game of glances and stolen looks began, a quiet flirtation that grew stronger with each passing day. At first, Essie noticed nothing. She was deeply in love with Kofi and too trusting to suspect anything, but the villagers began to talk. They noticed the way Kofi's gaze would follow Ama as she moved, the way they'd share hushed conversations when they thought no one was watching. Some of Essie's friends warned her, but she laughed it off, saying, "Kofi loves me. He would never betray me." Yet, little by little, Essie started to feel a strange unease settle in her heart. Late one evening, when Essie had gone to the market, Kofi and Ama found themselves alone in the quiet of the mansion. Kofi glanced at Ama, his eyes lingering on her for a moment too long. Ama noticed and moved closer, her laughter soft and playful. "Why do you stay with Essie?" Ama asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "She's old and plain. You could have so much more if she wasn't here." Kofi's heart began to beat faster. He knew it was wrong, but he couldn't deny the allure of Ama's words. Slowly, the two began to meet in secret, their plans growing darker with each whispered conversation. Ama, driven by greed, planted the idea in Kofi's mind that if Essie were gone, they could take her fortune and live a life of luxury together. Over the next few weeks, Kofi and Ama's scheme took root. Ama would leave small accidents around the house, hoping Essie might fall victim to them. She'd spill oil on the polished floor or leave sharp objects hidden under cushions. But each time, Essie seemed to escape harm by mere chance. When one plan failed, Ama and Kofi would huddle in darkened rooms, their voices urgent, plotting the next attempt. Their determination only grew with every failure. Then one night, Kofi tried to tamper with Essie's drink. Essie was preparing a tea blend that she loved to sip before bed, and Kofi, under the cover of darkness, slipped a bitter herb into her cup. But as Essie raised the cup to her lips, her cat, sensing something wrong, knocked the cup from her hands. The tea spilled across the floor, and Essie, though startled, thought nothing of it. She patted the cat and cleaned up the mess, unaware of how close she'd come to danger. With each failure, the tension between Kofi and Ama grew sharper, the weight of their secret pulling them deeper into a dark bond of shared guilt and greed. Soon, Kofi and Ama were no longer whispering, but arguing in harsh tones, blaming each other for the failures. Ama, her patience thin, demanded that Kofi find a way to end it once and for all. She was tired of waiting. One stormy night, they tried their riskiest plan yet. Kofi loosened one of the wooden steps on the staircase, hoping that Essie would fall and meet a tragic end. As Essie returned home from a meeting with the village elders, she climbed the stairs with a slight unease in her heart, a feeling she couldn't quite explain. She stepped onto the loose stair, and it creaked ominously. But Essie, sensing something was wrong, held tightly to the railing. She managed to steady herself and, for the first time, grew suspicious. The next day, she quietly called her closest friends and confided her worries. They advised her to be cautious, and one friend, an elder named Nana, even suggested hiding among the villagers during the next celebration at her mansion to watch Kofi and Ama. Essie, now alert to the whispers and glances, set a trap of her own. She announced a feast in honor of the village elders and invited everyone, including her family and friends. Kofi, sensing nothing amiss, agreed to help her prepare. Ama, emboldened by the crowd, held her head high, confident they were finally close to inheriting Acey's wealth. As the night wore on, laughter and music filled the mansion. At the height of the feast, Essie stood up and addressed the gathering with a calm yet commanding voice. "Tonight I want to thank my dear husband Kofi and my trusted house help Ama for their hard work and loyalty to my household," she began. "But I believe there are truths that need to be shared in the presence of our wise elders." Essie's voice dropped and her gaze fixed on Kofi and Ama, who shifted uncomfortably under the intense stares of the villagers. The room fell silent as Essie recounted her narrow escapes and suspicions, each incident painting a clearer picture of betrayal. Kofi and Ama's faces drained of color as Acey's words hit them like thunder, revealing every scheme and plan they thought had been hidden. The village elders, furious at such deceit, called for judgment. Acey's friends and family looked on with a mixture of sadness and relief, glad that Essie's life had been spared. In the end, Kofi and Ama were cast out of Makola, forced to leave behind everything, even the clothes they wore, to walk through the village in shame. The villagers gathered, murmuring and casting scornful looks as the pair passed by, no longer the powerful conspirators they had once believed themselves to be. After that night, Essie's heart was forever changed. She continued to live generously, but with a new wisdom, understanding that trust must be earned. Her story spread across the land, a tale of strength, betrayal, and resilience. Essie lived on, admired and cherished, and her story became a warning for all who dared think greed could replace the bonds of true loyalty. Dear viewers, what lessons did you take away from this dramatic love tales? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the story, give us a thumbs up, share it with friends, and hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest update. Thanks for watching and stay blessed.